Live from Phoenix, Arizona in the Biltmore area. It's 12:30 on Monday, December 13th.
December 13th.
Yes, it is December 13th. And we're here in Phoenix, Arizona to attend tonight's Cardinals-Rams Monday Night Football game. And because this traveling road show has we have no what?
We get no days off.
We get no days off. We're here for you, even in Phoenix.
Okay, so on our end, we're going to talk about today the chip shortage update. That being said, obviously, like new location, it looks like the Wi-Fi might be a little spotty. So let us know in the chat. We're doing the best that we can here. We're going to give an update on the chip shortage front. Pops, there's a lot of good news on that end. Before we do, however, let's take a quick peek at the chat. NPEG is here with us. He says, my local Ford dealership had a completely full lot of new cars for the first time since May. They claim to be the largest Ford dealership east of the Mississippi. Shortages may very well be over. That's great to hear.
Well, on some of the things that I read today, yes, that Ford is one of the few manufacturers or the only manufacturer at the moment that actually has more than a month's supply of cars available, cars and trucks, and it's mostly trucks.
Yep. And we have that data back on the website as well, joinyaa.com. Melissa's here with us, which we really appreciate.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about the 12:30 start. We weren't sure when we were going to get into the office space. It was a little rough.
We didn't even know we had office space. What are you kidding?
Jeannie, sorry we missed you. Jay Nagame, Mario's here with us. John's here. Belinda wants to know where she can get a free vehicle.
I know you can get a free vaccine, but I don't know where you can get a free vehicle.
Jordan's here with us. Phil's here. We appreciate it. Arturo as well. Javid, Igor. Good to see everyone. Okay, so again, Wi-Fi seems on our end to be a little spotty. We'll do the best that we can. Let us know in the chat. If it's unbearable, we'll call the show early. But Pops, let's kick things off with the latest news, the latest data. Let me share my screen here. Also, by the way, our car search is now live. Join
Look at that. We can get a base R8 2009, only 12 years old. Only 12 years old.
Only 12 years old. And let's see here. Data services are temporarily unavailable.
Check back later, ladies and
gentlemen. All right. Well, maybe they're not live. I don't know. Resources. I'm going to the blog. And let's find the latest chip update.
To suggest that we're a work in process or work in progress. We are.
Here we go, Pops. So this I updated just this morning. We got the latest data from Auto Forecast Solutions on this page every single week since September 13th. We've been updating what the total expected number of vehicles lost to production will be because of the chip shortage.
Yes.
It started back then. Well, it started at 0. And now it was at 9,436,000. Last week, the total projection went up about 40,000 units. 40,000 units of inventory to 11,323,000. This week, 11,325,000. The number went up 1,200 vehicles nationwide, globally.
And the really good news is that for North America, the number actually went down.
So they revised their projection in the downward trend. Last week was 897 units in North America. This week was 2,414.
More that are going to be built than had originally been intended to be built.
So the expectation is that we're kind of like are we at the end of the chip shortage?
No, we're not necessarily at the end of the chip shortage, but I think we're at the apex.
We're at the apex.
Yes, I that would be my suspicion. We have reached the top of the mountain, and on this roller coaster ride of chips and supply chain issues, and I think we're about to start going down on the roller coaster, is what it appears to me over the last few weeks.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the holiday season. We want to have good news to share. I mean, like, this is actually some good news.
Santa Claus is going to be able to make it around the world.
Look at Igor, though. No, not even close to that. So, I mean, Igor's obviously talking to reps back at the OEMs and things like that. But it seems like from the data we get our hands on, it's like you said, we've hit a peak, it seems.
I believe we hit the peak. That doesn't mean that the chip shortage...
It's not going to be that V-shaped recovery.
No. I mean, and one of the reasons you can say that is, we were also looking at some inventory data.
Yeah, I can pull that up.
And the midpoint of November, Cox was estimating that there were 958,000 new vehicles in dealer inventories across the country, which was down slightly from October, up slightly from September.
Yeah.
But having said that, they were a year ago, the inventory level was about 2.5 million vehicles in dealership inventory. And 2 years ago, the last quasi normal year, it was about 3.7 million vehicles in inventory. So the fact that there's less than a million, even if the chip shortage has hit its apex,
Yeah.
it's not to the point where there's just this vast excess of chips and all the supply chain issues have been resolved so that they can suddenly start building millions and millions and millions of more cars. Plus, a lot of the manufacturers are determining that they don't want to build millions and millions and millions of more cars. So I think the chip shortage is mitigated slightly, but we're not going to see any dramatic increase in inventory levels that'll get anywhere close to what it was in 2019 or even 2020 for quite some time.
What's your expectation? Do you think we'll ever get back to inventory levels like
I
that?
don't think we'll ever see the inventory levels that we saw in 2019.
Yeah.
I think we at best might be able to see the inventory levels that we saw in 2020. And that was,
I mean, we have that data, Pops.
yeah, and that was still 1.2 million vehicles less in inventory than in 2019.
I mean, inventory levels right now nationwide are down 65% November over November. And it's really neat, this data that we have. This is back on the which states have the most and least new car inventory page on the YA website. Sales, actually, though, are only down 14%. Look at New Mexico. Car sales year over year from November are actually up significantly in New Mexico. Because remember, we were going through the pandemic in November of last year. Like, that was in full force, and it was a very different
driving
time.
through New Mexico this time last year.
Yeah, we did. We did our cross country road trip
a few days earlier than this.
Yep.
And yeah, New Mexico was devastated with the COVID issues. And
the reason I bring this up, though, is like inventory levels now have been at 1/3 of what they've traditionally been.
Yes.
For well over a year, and automakers and dealers have found ways to make more profit than ever before. There was an article actually in Automotive News, I don't have it queued up, but it was saying the only player in the supply chain who has struggled as a result of what's going on are the parts suppliers. Everyone else has been over the moon with how great things have been.
Worked out.
So why would you ever expect things to go back to the way they were before? We don't. That being said, MPEG brings up a really good point here. I think the values that dealerships will pay for your car will drop now, not necessarily what they sell them for, just what they pay for them. Then slowly the retail used car prices will decline. We talked about it on Saturday night's live stream. Our expectation that car prices next year are going to continue to go up. It does make you wonder how this is going to affect used car pricing, because if there is a mitigation of the chip shortage and ultimately the car shortage, do you end up with used car prices coming back to reality? The question mark there is, will automakers even produce enough cars, or will they, quote, continue to artificially suppress supply?
And one of the major players in used car prices, wholesale prices, have been the rental car companies, and that's not going to change for any time soon. And the reason I say that is, even if there are more chips available, the manufacturers are going to take what available chips they have, and they're going to allocate those chips to their high profit margin vehicles.
Yeah, we've seen that all throughout the shortage.
Yes, and they're going to continue to make vehicles for consumers as opposed to the lower profit vehicles that they make for the rental car companies.
Yeah.
So if rental car companies can't replace their fleets with new vehicles, and it doesn't appear as if they'll be able to for quite some time, then they're going to continue to bid up the prices on 1- and 2-year-old lower mileage pre-owned cars, which will impact the values that dealers have to pay when they're bidding against Hertz and Avis and Budget and Enterprise and all the others. So I suspect that prices will continue to go up, even on the used car side, for the near term, and the near term could be the first quarter, maybe the first half of 2022.
And then likely, honestly, retail used car prices will stay inflated for much longer because dealerships aren't going to want to take the loss on having overpaid at the auction for something that,
Exactly.
So retail used car prices will probably, and Jordan, I think, hits it pretty well here. Carvana sets the price. A little bit they do.
To
They
a
have so
certain
much
degree,
capital
yes.
that they can drive and move the
Yes.
prices around. They
You know, at
absolutely
a
can.
certain point, they're going to have to use some of that capital to pay all the fines for all their business practices that have created issues for their customers.
Tatcha with a great point here. It's also possible that most cars are now factory ordered and the remaining inventory is unsellable. I don't know if they're unsellable. That being said,
They're
however,
just less desirable.
and there are a heck of a lot of vehicles that are factory orders that have not been delivered. I mean, we hear the stories day in and day out. Cars that were ordered back in April, May, June, July, August that are just getting scheduled for deliveries now into January, into February. And so there will be an onslaught of vehicles. It's just, will it be like a faucet that gets turned on and turned off, or will it be a slow drip? We think it's going to be more the drip.
Yeah, I believe it's. I mean, even Ford that had all those trucks that were built that needed chips. And at one point they were thinking, well, they'd send the vehicles to the dealers.
Which Jim Farley was interviewed, and he even said,
yeah,
we
it's
haven't
still
rolled that out.
Yeah, we haven't done it yet. It's still on the table. They don't necessarily anticipate doing it, but they also don't anticipate having this backlog of trucks all completed and shipped to the dealers until the first quarter of next year.
And they just capped, what was it? What's the vehicle that they capped it at 200,000? I forget. Not the Maverick. What's the one?
The Lightning?
The Lightning. Yep, they just capped it. They said they're not going to make more than 200,000, and they also are postponing production of, I forget what the heck it was, at one of their plants in lieu to be able to support producing more Lightnings. So it's like everyone's still got their challenges. Igor says,
and there were two vehicles that they've pushed back from coming out in late 2022 or 2023 into 2024.
Yeah.
So
Igor says testing equipment for chip quality control is missing and staff at car factories aren't trained and understaffed. That's probably right. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
He still has the years of those.
Wow, Igor, are you saying trucks are getting scrapped? I'd be very surprised if that's actually what's happening. But if you've got sources on that, that's super interesting.
Well, you know, at a certain point, if they've been sitting in the fields for 9 or 10 months, the issues that will have developed in those from field mice and things like, I mean, for whatever, mice love wiring systems.
I do too.
It was one of the things your mother and I were amazed by when you were little. But mice absolutely love wiring systems. And so if you have all these trucks sitting out in fields or wherever, and there's mice around, you might be able to put the chips in them. But once you put the chips in them, then you have to put new wiring harnesses in them. At a certain point, you just go, you know what? Let's just write them off. Let's just send them to the scrapyard and be done with them. So
you wouldn't be surprised if that's happening.
At a certain point, they have to realize that the issues in these vehicles that have been sitting are not worth the cost it's going to take to remediate.
Moisture damage. That's another good point. Yeah. No, you guys are right. That being said, let's say a 20. So I guess all the model years are going to get so confusing next year.
Yes.
Let's say it's a pandemic 2021.
Yes.
That was sitting in a field. What's your way as a customer to know that?
Well, you'd have to look at the production plate on the inside the door jamb, which will tell you the month and the year that the vehicle was produced. So if you're looking at a 2021, and let's say, just for argument's sake, that it was produced in January of 2020, and now it's available on the dealer's lot. So it sat around probably for 11 months before it got completed and got shipped to the dealer. So between flat spots in the tires, potential wiring issues, moisture issues, I mean, there's God only knows, all the, but at a certain point, they'll look at this and they'll go, it just makes more sense to turn it into rubble.
Let's switch gears here, Pop. So again, chip shortage news, generally positive. Inventory news is going to take some time.
Yeah.
That's that. There's two parts to that story, as with everything. This is the headline on Automotive News this morning. It's also the headline over on jalopnik.com,
Yeah.
a popular automotive website. Automakers see gold in over-the-air software upgrades. This is what we talked about a little bit last week, Pops. Let's dive
Yes.
into it again. We also had a YAA community member send us this from the drive.
Yeah.
This came out just last week. Toyota made its key fob remote start into a subscription service. So Toyota's already doing it.
Yes.
What's your take on this? I know we've talked about it a bit. Then let's dive into the article. And actually, let me just tee it up with this. GM says it's going to be a $25 billion a year business unit by 2030. Stellantis thinks it's a $23 billion a year business unit by 2030. This is where they expect to make a heck of a lot of money.
Yeah, they're not necessarily expecting to make the money selling the cars anymore. They're expecting to be able to pad their corporate profits with software subscriptions, and that is I guess what they're looking at is their lifeblood going into the future. You won't have to sell as many cars.
Yep.
You won't have to produce as many cars and trucks. You'll just have to keep coming up with these software updates that you'll be able to sell to those who have purchased your cars and trucks. And so the business model will change to where they want to be more of a software company than necessarily a manufacturer of vehicles.
Let's run through bits and pieces of this article here and go to the community for some chat as well on this. So here it is right here. Whoops. We intend to deepen the emotional bond between our customers and the brands they love, said Stellantis' head of their software business. If the come on, hang tight. If the past was about increasing margins by moving customers north in hardware and trim levels, our future is about offering customers software-based services.
Okay, I don't want to say anything bad about Mamatha.
He or she,
It's a she.
She may be at NADA, and we got to be careful because we might meet.
Well, I'm not, but
I don't want to get blackballed out of NADA.
But we intend to deepen the emotional bond.
Yeah, like this. Like, touch me. That was weak. No, like
the emotional bond between human and car. Ah, yes. Oh, my life won't be complete unless my Stellantis has subscription software that's updated. Oh, I can't live unless my Stellantis automobile can, I don't know, prepare a cup of coffee for me before I get to the door. What? Let me say it. What nonsense. Absolute nonsense. The emotional bond between man and the automobile. Get that. Get out of here.
I mean, you've experienced a lot. Like when you were at Mini, they always tried to pitch you on, fun ways to think about the brand.
Yeah, but the emotional bond. Oh my God, I can't believe my Stellantis automobile died. Oh my. How am I to go on?
Kimberly brings up a really good point. Keep in mind, software is not covered by extended warranties. Yeah, there's a heck of a lot to unearth and learn about there. We've got a guest. We've got a guest.
A guest in the house. Oh my God.
James is here.
James is in the house. James, get in there.
Say hi.
Yeah, come on, get in there. Say,
what's up, everybody?
Yeah, that is James, everybody.
So yes, software. That's Kimberly's point here.
Yes.
Software isn't covered by the extended warranties. Well, that's like a really good point. What's going to happen to all the insurance products that are sold around cars? It's going to look totally different in this future model. Also, Kimberly says hi. Hi. But let's keep going here in the article, Deb, because it's really fascinating, honestly.
What's really fascinating for James now is he gets to actually witness this.
Yeah, he usually just edits this.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so the article points out here, this is Tesla's model. So if you want to
Yes.
pass blame to anyone, which we're not necessarily assigning blame here, it's just this is Tesla.
Yeah.
This is the model that
Tesla
they
figured out that not only they didn't anticipate becoming profitable because of the number of cars they built and sold. They anticipated becoming profitable because of the software upgrades and updates that they could sell to their customers.
Let me read this to you, Pops. They also have watched technology companies such as Apple use connectivity to produce recurring revenue streams and make customers fiercely brand loyal. Do you think the reason people love Apple is because they subscribe to their stuff? No, it's because of the design, the feel, like, right? Like, thing there. It's not because they recurringly take money from me. That to me is really off base. Stellantis says the software and services market is eager to tap it's eager to tap will amount to $225 billion by 2030. And doing so will produce the sizable margins that tech companies enjoy. Apple's 29% operating margin in the third quarter is nearly triple the 10% that Stellantis projects for 2021. The way that these companies are now, these automakers are starting to talk about themselves, Dad, this leads me back to a conversation we have all the time. I think the end of the franchise car dealership model is here sooner rather than later because they want to be valued like Apple and like Tesla. And does Apple have franchise dealerships? No. Does Tesla have franchise dealerships? No. What do they sell? They sell software. They sell stuff.
Although we did see a Tesla dealership yesterday.
We're literally, our hotel's right across the street from a Tesla center. But still, all the ways that they're talking about their businesses are just trying to be, I want to be valued like Tesla and Apple. And that's what we're seeing here.
Yeah, they want to become software companies.
They're car companies, damn it.
Yeah, but they don't want to be car companies anymore because they just said it. 10% operating margin versus a 29% operating margin. I don't know. Yeah, we'd like to be in the car business, but we only really want to be in the car business if we can figure out how to get that operating margin to 30% like Apple has it.
I mean, we want to be freaking valued like Apple, but it's not like we're just gonna like.
We do.
They're $1 trillion. They're like a
multi-trillion.
All right,
3 trillion, I believe.
3 trillions?
I believe.
Is it trillion or trillions? Apple stock price. You're a $3 trillion.
That's what I said.
Let's see Tesla. Oh, wait, let's see. Yeah. Tesla's no longer a $1 trillion company, but they're close.
They've had a bad day.
Stellantis
is what? 50
billion euro. So whatever that converts to. Yeah. Ford 81. Yeah. Let's just do one more for fun here. Toyota 285. And Toyota's the one to talk about next, Pops.
Yes.
They're starting.
Yeah.
They're seeing some other players. Like in the luxury space, BMW's done it.
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz has done it. Tesla's done it.
Yeah.
This is coming to the mass market. This is not going to be exclusive to your expensive cars. Quite frankly, we started to have this conversation a little bit on Saturday night. Here it is. Toyota's the first company to charge for full use of your physical key fob, either $8 a month or $80 a year.
Wow.
We started talking about this, and I made some jokes about it on Saturday night, and I'm not going to joke about it here. This is literally the model where you subsidize the purchase of something you need to then make the money on the recurring piece. We talked about razor blades. You know, the reason Gillette is a really profitable business, the reason they bought Dollar Shave Club, remember that? Super profitable business because you get someone to get the handle, and then they need the blades.
Yes.
Now they're going to subsidize getting people into cars and then charge you for everything else.
Yes.
And it's not going to be just for Teslas. It's going to be for Toyotas.
Well, if you want the full functionality of that key fob
and the emotional connection to that key fob.
Well, the bond, the emotional bond between you and your Toyota key fob.
Let's read Justin's comment here. On a sustainability note, at least software upgrades over the air means the auto industry is steering away from the replace your device every 2 years path that phone makers have taken. Imagine that with cars. That's a good point.
Yeah,
that is a good point. I think the capitalization of that is what concerns us. Cars have, especially in the United States, if you live not in an urban area, how do you get around?
Your International Harvester tractor, I suppose.
You drive a car.
I don't know.
You drive a car.
No, you don't. You drive a pickup.
You drive a truck.
Yeah.
And if your truck now is going to be super cheap, but you actually want to drive
if you live in a rural area,
subscribe to your truck. Tell me how that's going to work in Kansas.
If you live in a rural area, and you drive a car, your neighbors are looking at you like there is something wrong with these people.
Convince me, Dad. You've sold cars for 40 years.
Yeah.
Tell me the pitch to someone when you're like, subscribe to your truck in Oklahoma.
Oh, the really good news is
this truck's free.
The truck. The good news is that you'll be able to subscribe to the things that you only want to use. You're not going to be forced like bundling on cable to have to buy $200 worth of cable per month when you only use $40 worth of cable per month. You'll be able to pick and choose exactly what it is that you want to have it work in your truck.
He's
It'll be
convincing.
wonderful for
He's
you.
convincing.
It'll be. I mean, where else do you have a freedom of choice like that? You know what? The Chinese restaurant, one from column A and two from column B. I mean, that's what this is. This is like a Chinese buffet at your local China Palace.
Here we go. Just wait till the auto companies pull from the rest of Apple's playbook and use OTA updates to diminish vehicle performance and capabilities in the name of just trying to help the consumer. There's another concern.
Well, how about when it becomes a pre-owned car and somebody wants to buy it, and then they have to pay to get all the stuff that's already built into the car, so they get to keep charging forever and ever and ever.
And we've seen more and more of automakers, because Tesla started this.
Yeah.
Hi, Luis. We've seen Tesla start this. They're going into the insurance business too.
Okay.
So not only will you subscribe to, you'll buy the car from them.
Yeah.
You'll subscribe to your car through them to get functionality. Then you'll get your insurance through them.
You know, we should go into the insurance business, and we should call it, "Yeah, buddy, insurance. You're covered."
Maybe.
And yeah, buddy, you're always covered. You know why? Because we're here to take care of you. Nobody takes care of you quite like, yeah, buddy.
You could literally sell anything. All right. Final note for today's show. Join yaa.com/cars. You won't see it. We have an updated homepage and everything launching. I think it's on Thursday of this week. We're going to do it. So many people gave us so much support and so much help. If you just do what I just did right there, /cars.
Yeah.
You can then use our search engine to find all the cars in your area. I think it's working.
We hope it's
Let's click on a different one. We tried the Audi before, that didn't work. James, what do you name a car?
Let's
my
do
friend?
this 7 Series.
No, I just asked James. We're engaging in the show. This is like a call-in, but any car.
Let's do Acura RDX.
Acura. See, I type in Acura, and then it comes in RDX. We're gonna just to show. Let's do this. Let's do single owner Acura RDXs.
Does that mean the person who owned the car is not married?
Dad, I don't know. Why do you ask me the tough questions live? So then I'm gonna click on one.
I mean, how do they know if the person's married or not?
See, we got everything. We got the photos. You want our 4-step buying guide?
I do.
It's right here. Just gonna make sure you have an account. I have an account, so it should log. Okay, I gotta sign in. Obnoxious, I guess.
Yeah,
my
my God. Could you cut down some of those click-throughs?
See, we have our 4-step buying guide right here. Yeah. Research market conditions with the videos. You want our email templates?
I do.
They're right here.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm not kidding you.
Who wrote this stuff?
Like the whole team, like a very involved team that you know each of them.
So
anyway, it's all available to you right here. We encourage you to give our vehicle search a try. We also have the total price here, which we're really proud of. So you can actually see what the advertised price is, plus what taxes in your state, title, registration, doc fees.
That's not even close. Registration fees.
We went through a
Yes.
long process of capturing feedback, and you got to tell us that stuff. So you're telling us right now. That's
I'm
good.
telling you, the registration fees are more than $10 in the state of Arizona.
Do you think they're getting bundled into the
May I say
sales?
something? James, who is here, can verify that the cost of the registration for his vehicle is hundreds of dollars per year. It does go down every year because it depreciates off the original MSRP.
Kimberly's here. You can see what the extended warranty would cost.
So it's called a lieu tax.
Mario's here. You can see the price history.
And you know why they call it a lieu tax?
I'm not listening.
Yeah, in lieu of a registration fee, we're going to tax you way more.
You can see how many of the same vehicle are available down here. Mario's coaching you through this.
Yeah.
What the day's supply is. How many have sold in the last
Wow.
45 days? And then you can see similar vehicles as well down here, and of course all the seller details.
You know,
as well.
Is there any from Acura North Scottsdale? Just curious. Since
That's kind of cool. Like we don't
since
have.
I used to be the sales manager. Or the new car manager there.
Let me see. I'll do a 25-mile radius. Oh, a Penske store. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this one is from Acura North.
No, that's a
BMW
BMW
North
North Scottsdale.
It's a used one. Yeah.
Well, why didn't they sell it to the Acura store?
I don't know, Dad. Anyway, join yaa.com/cars. We appreciate everyone that gives that a try. Share your feedback with us as well.
Yes.
And we've got Igor saying people are asking for Yaz membership gift card so they can use it as a gift to gift other people.
I think it would be a great stocking stuffer once I get stockings.
We're working on it.
You know,
Igor.
when you're 70, you do get support hose. But it's a different.
Okay,
type
we're gonna
of
end the
support.
broadcast. Thank you everyone for being here. I think we'll go live again tomorrow. We'll figure out where we're doing it, and then Wednesday is a special.
Tomorrow is going. Tomorrow
We'll
could be.
figure it out. We'll see.
Well, we have.
We can go to the lounge at the airport.
Well, because I was going to say we do have a flight sometime tomorrow around noontime, Phoenix time,
Yeah.
to fly to lovely Las Vegas tomorrow. So perhaps we can do it from the airport with their shaky Wi-Fi, or maybe we could do it a little later at poolside.
Well, that's the thing. So Wednesday, please know, Wednesday is going to be a very special broadcast here on the Ray and Zach channel. Reason being, we'll probably be at a pool in Vegas doing a stream. Really concerned to see.
Swimming pool.
I'm like very hopeful that people just walk over to us and are like, "You guys like famous?" We're like, "No, not at all." But join us. We're live on TV.
Yeah.
Like live on the internet.
Yeah. Well, my guess is just a suspicion, since it's supposed to be about like 46, 47 degrees in Vegas on Wednesday. There won't be a lot of people wandering the pool area, and anybody that is going to be looking at us like we're nuts.
This is very true. Anyway,
Yeah.
join us on Wednesday. Join us tomorrow. We'll be back again. We'll share the
Yeah.
daily news. that you can
Thursday
use.
we won't be able to be on because we'll be flying back to Bethesda.
I don't know, man.
Well, maybe
Do
we
it
can
from
do it
the-
from the plane.
We'll do it from the plane.
Yeah. I'm sure nobody would mind that.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Goodbye, all.